I am now going to review the Subject Management tab located on the main menu bar on the left-hand side of the page. The Subject Management bar contains 4 modules: the Screening Log, Add New Subject, Electronic Case Report Form Overview, and Data Query Overview. We're first going to review the Screening Log. This module enables authorized site personnel to register participants who entered pre-trial screening and who have been considered for participation in the study. You will select Add Screening Record and enter the subject initials, the screening date, and if informed consent was obtained. If not, you will enter the reason why it was not obtained. All subjects who have been screened for inclusion and exclusion criteria, including the screening lab tests, will be entered into the screening log. Participants who have been screened for inclusion and exclusion criteria and who have signed the informed consent document will be entered in the Add New Subject module. Once the data is entered and saved on this page, a unique eSOCDAT subject number will be attributed to the patient concerned. The eSOCDAT subject number will be displayed on all visits for the subject concerned. This is the first form you will complete when you enter a new subject, and it is important to note that you will be uploading a fully signed and dated informed consent PDF version on this first page of your electronic case report forms. Under question 1, you will enter the date the participant signed the consent, and there will be a paperclip icon in which you will upload the fully signed and dated consent document in a PDF version to the site. You will then proceed with entering the demographic information, and when you hit submit, the new patient will be created and the number will populate up in the left-hand corner of the screen. You will then be prompted to move on to the following forms within the baseline visit once your investigator has signed off on this first page, confirming that the informed consent document is uploaded and the demographic information is correct. I will be reviewing this form later on in this video, and if you have any questions regarding the informed consent process, please refer to the Atrium Manual of Operations. I'm now going to review the third module within Subject Management tab, which is the Electronic Case Report Form Overview. This page provides an overview for each one of the patients entered. Here you will find the patient number, the informed consent form, the baseline visit form, visit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the daily immunosuppressive medication log, the daily troponin log, the hospital discharge form, follow-up 1, and follow-up 2. Here you'll also be able to see any AEs that have been recorded, medications of interest, any unscheduled exams, and a notification form. You will notice that the pages have little different icons and are labeled with different colors. This indicates the status of each form. At the bottom of the page, there's an icon description so you can see what the different colored forms mean. The green means ready to complete. The blank means available to complete if necessary, which means you've completed the form from a prior visit and your site investigator has signed off on the form. The orange form means incomplete and not signed, which means you'll need to go back and fill in any required fields and ensure that your investigator has signed off on this form so you can move on to the next study visit. The form with the lines means that it's been completed. Any forms that include the red pen indicate that the site investigator will need to sign off on the form. Any forms with a check mark mean that these forms are completed and signed, and they will then be reviewed by the Atrium Coordinating Center. If a form has a question mark, this means that there's a posted data query, which means that your site will need to go back in and address the field with the data query. When accessing or creating a visit/record from a summary screen, a visit page or record form will be displayed. On a visit page or record form, the authorized user is able to enter and update the viewed data for available data fields. Save or discard entered and updated data for the available data fields by clicking Submit or Discard Changes. You can also perform available actions using the action buttons available at the bottom of the visit page or record form. You'll be able to navigate to other visits using the Go To Visit drop-down list or to other pages of a visit record using the available navigation tools. You'll be able to add comments, which may be relevant to the record and/or to specific data fields of the record using the Additional Comments hyperlink in the upper right corner of the visit page or record form. The final module within the Subject Management tab is the Data Query Overview. Here, the data entered in the patient's records will be reviewed throughout the course of the study. In case there is a discrepancy or a question concerning the plausibility of a specific data entry, the data monitoring team can create data queries. The data queries are attached to an individual data item and are identified by the question mark icon. A summary of all data queries can be accessed by the Data Query Overview page, and the status of the query, resolved or posted, is displayed, and the list can be filtered by data query status in order to only display those queries which are not yet resolved. For example, the subject number, the visit, and the question are identified in this overview. There is a hyperlink which will go directly to the page of the electronic case report form which concerns the data query. To activate this hyperlink, the blue subject number can be selected. To create a new subject in eSOCDAT, the first page you need to complete is the Informed Consent and Demographics page. This page also needs to be completed in order to randomize a subject in eSOCDAT. You will start by entering the date the participant signed the consent, and you can click on the paperclip icon located here to upload a fully signed and dated PDF copy of the informed consent. However, you do not need to upload a signed dated copy in order to randomize a subject. We require that the PDF copy is uploaded within 3 business days of the participant signing the informed consent. You will then need to enter the date of birth, the sex at birth, the race, and ethnicity. You'll see at the bottom that there is a field for a username and password to be entered. This form does not need to be signed until after the baseline visit is completed. The form will be signed by your site PI, and again, this is not required in order to randomize the participant. When you click on the paperclip icon, it will bring you to the source documentation upload page. It will ask you the type of document, confirm the patient number, the visit and date performed, and any additional comments. So because you are uploading the informed consent document, you will select informed consent and demographics related, confirm your subject ID number, confirm the visit, and then you're going to click choose file and select the PDF to be uploaded to the page. Once you complete the form and press submit in the bottom right-hand corner, the page will be saved and you'll see that the patient number in the top left-hand corner will be generated. This number will not be generated unless you click submit at the bottom right-hand corner of the page. To navigate to the next visit, you go to Visit in the right upper hand corner and select the drop-down menu. You will then be able to select the baseline visit. Within the baseline visit, you'll be able to select 1 through 13 pages, which will need to be completed, and your site PI will need to sign off on the baseline visit. However, only pages 12 and 13, which include the inclusion and exclusion criteria, need to be completed prior to randomization. In order to quickly randomize a study subject in eSOCDAT, I recommend that you complete the Informed Demographics page first, go to the baseline visit, and go directly to page 12. Here you'll complete the inclusion criteria, and be sure to press Submit at the bottom of the page. This will then prompt you to page 13, in which you will complete the exclusion criteria page, and again press Submit at the bottom of the page. For the inclusion and exclusion criteria, I urge you to go to the Help button hyperlink, which is located on the right-hand side, which will bring you to a help page with more detailed information on how to complete the inclusion and exclusion criteria. Once you've completed the Informed Consent and Demographics page and pages 12 and 13 of the baseline visit, you are then ready to jump straight to the randomization page in Visit 1. Select Visit 1, Dose 1 on the drop-down, and then you can go straight to page 3, which is the randomization form. Within Visit 1, there are 6 pages that will need to be completed. However, only page 3, the randomization form, will need to be completed and submitted in order to randomize the study subject. So just to review, we've completed the Informed Consent and Demographics page, the baseline visit, pages 12 and 13, and now we are on the randomization form within Visit 1. Once this randomization form is completed and signed off by the site PI, the pharmacy team will receive the randomization email and be able to prepare the study drug for your subject. Prior to completing the steps in eSOCDAT to randomize a study subject, we urge your study team to contact the pharmacy, especially if it is off business hours and your research pharmacist is not available. Please contact the pharmacy and obtain an email address of a pharmacist who will be preparing the study drug, and enter the pharmacist email address in this field at the bottom of the page. In addition to the research pharmacy team that are on the delegation log, this research pharmacist, in which you enter the email address in this field, will also receive the randomization email. No other study staff will receive the randomization email and must remain blinded. Only the pharmacy team will receive the randomization email and are unblinded to the study allocation. All fields on this form are mandatory, so you will first select, is the participant eligible and willing to participate in the study? You will then enter the weight, and the weight must be entered in order to complete the randomization. You will then enter, as I mentioned previously, the email address of the pharmacist who will prepare the study drug, if it's different from any of the pharmacy staff that are already listed on the delegation log for your site. Once these fields are completed, you will then press Submit at the bottom of the page. Once you press Submit, you will see this notification at the top of the screen which says Study Treatment has been allocated successfully, in which you know that the email has been sent to the research pharmacist team, and if entered, the pharmacist email in the box below. I also advise that you contact your pharmacist or research pharmacy to ensure that they receive the randomization and that they are able to match it to the study drug order in your medical record system. After randomizing the new study subject, please proceed on to completing the baseline visit forms and the Visit 1, Dose 1 forms. Please note that the principal investigator at your site will need to sign off to validate that this form was completed and that the informed consent document was uploaded.